Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, April 12th, and it is finally time. What? What? There's no hawks in the sky. What are you freaking out about? Relax. You got water. What? It's nice out. Just relax. Enjoy the sun. Goodness gracious. Birds. It's like a soap opera over there. Anyways, so years ago, I built this fire pit here. That pile of stone over there and chunks of mortar is what's left of it. There's a few pieces that I didn't get up yet. I haven't gotten there. Most of that rock actually came out of my garden over yonder when I was trying to till that in and get posts in. You know, there was some really big pieces of rock. Like, that guy's a monster. That's a size 12 foot. So, you know, so we laid the foundation of that fireplace or fire pit with all that stone, and because it's a huge fire pit, like when there isn't an enormous heap of ash on top of it, I can throw, you know, normal pallets in there and they don't even touch the walls. So I got a little bit more rock to chip away. I'm gonna redo the whole thing. It's time to dig this out. I've let it go for way too long. Initially, like, there is an actual ground, probably for 2 feet underneath about here. So I've probably got like 16 or so wheelbarrows to scoop and haul out of here. I was trying to, you can see the drag marks. I was trying to kind of break it apart and push it that away with the Bolins, but it's all super compact. You know, this is years of bonfires, and I don't just have little tiny fires with a couple twigs. When I have a bonfire, that's about what I would throw in a bonfire. When I have company over to come have a couple, you know, cold snacks, and some brats, I make a fire, a real fire. You know, whether it's December or July, I make a damn fire that, you know, burns 6 to 12 feet in the air. There ended up being some various stuff, you know. Might have been some roofing components and some recyclables that ended up in here. So it's not just wood ash, but regardless, this is years of ash. This is probably 4 years since I've dug this all the way back down to ground. And it was just so overflowing and the rock was starting to fall apart that I want to redo it. So I'm going to dig her all the way back down to ground. Like I said, I was hoping the Boelens could push it, but it's just so much weight. It's compacted from, time and precipitation. It's all wet, and there's big chunks of rock in there, and it was just binding it up, and I was tearing up the yard too bad. It could do it if I kept on chipping away at it, but I'm just gonna make such a damn mess. I can do a better job just with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. So I got a shit ton of scooping and wheelbarrowing to do, and a little bit more stone to pull apart, and then I'm gonna get her back down to ground. I'll let this dry out and rake that back over. The grass here is pretty hardy. It'll come back. I'm not worried about this little stuff. Just taking the go-kart and the lawnmower and whatever over it and just walking on it. We'll beat all this back down to flat. But I like that being nice and deep, because the kind of that dish shape of the fire pit really throws the heat, where right now it's just a heap, and like I couldn't even have a fire on top of that. Everything would just roll off of it. And after this is all gone and the area is kind of cleaned up, I'm going to clean up these rocks, and I got another big pile of rocks over there. I got some leftover mortar from job site. And this is eventually going to get rebuilt. This is not all going to happen today. It's a big job. There is a lot of weight here. There's like thousands of pounds of wet, muddy ash in here. So we'll see what we get done today. But yeah, I'm going to keep going on shoveling and wheelbarrowing, and that's going to end up adding on to my berm. I'm kind of been building up a berm. I've got a small little shooting range there we got a bunch of pellet rifles, some break action, fairly high powered pellet rifles that me and the girls like to plink with in the back. And obviously that needs a little bit of repair. And I laid this here because I was teaching one of the new hunters in the group how to shoot his bow, and he kept on missing the cube, so I laid that there, so if he missed the cube it would at least stab into that and maybe we could recover the arrow. But see, I got the little plate hangers there and got all these guys. I get all that set up and we prop a couple cans up and we got all kinds of targets to shoot at, and then the berm is the backstop. So I'm going to continue to build up this berm. I'll wheelbarrow it all over here, continue to heap this up, and then through the summertime you can see I put grass clippings and the wood chips that come out of our chicken coop go on top of here. I kind of spread that all over it, and that helps break down the stuff underneath it, and it will turn back into grass. It'll probably never be pretty, but it serves its purpose. It's a safe backstop for us to be able to shoot our pellet guns. I could safely shoot my 22 at that, but I don't want to discharge a firearm in city limits. I am in city limits. So anyways, get back to work here, and yeah, I guess we'll start counting loads. I pushed the tractor 5 times, and each of those was pretty close to a wheelbarrow load, but then I kind of started digging in real bad here, the tires, and even though they got chains, you know, this is just packed down ash. So it was, I don't know. I don't want to wreck the yard just to get it done. So because then I'm just gonna have to fix that. So it would be easier just to take my time and do it the slow way, I guess. You know, I got lots of shovels, and I'm pretty good at shoveling, and I got a little bit of experience with wheelbarrows. Wheelbarrow. There's another one. Wheelbarrow. Just a little bit of wheelbarrowing experience. So I can get back to work here, and we'll see how far I get today. And when I'm getting back to like relaying the stone, maybe I'll time lapse that, and this is gonna end up really cool. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna redo it with, you know, with all the nice pieces. A lot of this is gonna turn into driveway, and the nice pieces are gonna turn back into the new fire pit, which might end up bigger. I don't know. I guess we'll see. All right, stay tuned. All right, we're on day 3 of this project. I finally am back down to ground right there anyways, so that's just a little bit more than a gravel shovel's worth deep. I've extended my berm like 16 feet, and that's actually really deep. That whole line is really deep. It's like 4 feet tapering down to 2. So I want to say about 30 wheelbarrow loads. I've been doing it in stages. I had to loosen it up, and I cut my circle again. So I ended yesterday just by finally getting my circle back. I'm back to ground all the way around, and it wasn't a very good circle to start with. So I'm probably gonna stop at that depth and just level it out. You know, there might, whatever, that'll be damn good enough. It is a huge pit, like is easily 5 feet across, probably closer to 6. I haven't measured it yet, but I don't know. I think there's probably 6 wheelbarrows left in there to get it leveled off. Then I can rake up the yard, clean up my mess here. That's some metal that came out of it. That's the still burnable wood that came out of it. Then we'll start hand selecting. We'll pick through our rock pile, spread it out, kind of spread it out all over the place. And like I said, I got more rocks over there. So yeah, it'll end up cool. Just a lot of work. Holy smokes. Having a big fire pit is a lot of work. And if you don't keep up on it every single spring, boy, I tell you what, I'm kicking myself in the butt for letting this go so long. So, all right, let's get back to work here. All right, I'm taking a little break to that point where got the new rocks brought in. I picked out some cool big round granite stones, red granite, blue granite, white granite, and I don't know, it's dirty so I can't exactly tell. I think that's also white granite. And then there's a mix of Eden stone, De Pere stone. You know, this basically came from damn near every corner of Wisconsin, this little mixture of stones. And then I'm gonna put a second layer on all of that and kind of cap it off and mix it up. Over there is some Door County stone, and then yeah, stone that came right out of the ground here. So literally all corners of Wisconsin this fire pit will be made out of. And the big granite stones are oriented north, south, west, east. I don't know, that's just kind of a cool extra little feature there, but yeah, that's pretty darn neat, eh? You know, I told you this was going to be cool. The build up in my videos is always boring, and yeah, I talk too damn much. I'm sorry. So, I'm to that point. Everything's laid out. I've kind of got an idea of what's going to be fit where. I got to chisel a few to fill some holes, and then chisel a few to run my second layer on top of that, and that's just going to reinforce it and just make the whole thing a lot stronger. So if stupid kids walk in a circle around the hot, dangerous balance beam, hopefully it doesn't, you know, fall apart and they fall in a big ass fire. So yeah, now it's time to roll the trailer over by the mortar, and stupid bugs, grab the mortar and get some of that mixed up, and I think, I don't know, 3-4 decent sized pails ought to be enough. Like I said, I was gonna dry set most of this. These are all fit pretty darn tight. I gotta make a few, but I'm just gonna baker bag in this first row here, and then the second row I'll actually lay a bed, and then I'll furrow out all the way around, kind of scratch, you know, pack in and furrow it down so it grabs onto the earth a little bit, you know, on the inside, and that'll keep these big guys from rolling. Do the same on the outside. You know, I'll lay a bed all the way around the inside, all the way around the outside, fill in between, and then lay a bed on top and lay another row on top of the linear guys. So it'll end up, you know, close to the top of all the big field stones, but they'll still be poking out and kind of give it that cool effect. So, all right, time to make some mortar. All right, got my mortar hauled over using Type S. It's all Type S's. Your you know, commercial grade structural masonry mortar, and then I got an old bag of XP 500, which is basically thin set, but it's got a polymer reinforcer, so it helps, you know, strengthen the mortar as a whole, and it allows it to flex a little bit. This is going to heat up, cool down, heat up, cool down. It gives it a little bit of expansion. The ground is going to heave and settle, and heat, you know, stuff moves around in Wisconsin, especially around a fire pit. I changed my mind on just leaving them dry set. I'm going to leave the big stones just the way they are. I'm not going to touch them. They're actually jammed into the ground pretty good. I'm going to pull the rest of the ones away, lay a bed in between each big field stone, and then I'll set all of the linear stones in a bed of mortar, and, you know, bond them one at a time, you know, just as a stonemason would. So and then I'll fiddle around with getting the second layer on it. I'm gonna put the camera on time lapse. So yeah, time to start making some mortar and make this look like it should be pretty rad. Well, I'm happy with it. Had a good fire last night. Put back a couple beverages. Had some fun. She threw some heat. I think it's definitely dried out. It's not cured yet. You can see the difference right there. It's still got some moisture on the ground level, and there's a lot of moisture in the ground, so it's kind of wicking it out. But yeah, it turned out pretty cool. You know, doing the whole compass thing and the big field stones. It's pretty neat. I ran out of mud when I got up to that guy, so I'm gonna make one more pail and do a second row, level that out on that side, and looks like I gotta chisel one more for there, but all in all, I'm happy with it. So she should be good for another 5-6 years before I gotta rebuild it again. So cool. Well, if you stayed through this whole thing, thanks for watching. God bless you.